Hi everyone, the Lone Wolf here. Welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I cover my gaming experience in the last week and also some of the news that caught my eye, of course. So as always, we'll start with EVE Online. I've played a lot of EVE Online last week. What tipped me over was definitely the two mass tests that took place on CC. You may have seen a few videos on that already. It was quite interesting. I must thank the people at Reddit who posted the tip of disabling your audio during big tie-dye fights. That definitely helped with the stability and with the performance during those mass tests, and it's just a really good tip in general if you are running into such a big battle that you are seeing tie-dye, that you are seeing performance problems. Disabling the audio does seem to make a really big difference. Now, on the mass tests themselves, they were mostly focused on the carriers, the super carriers, and the new fighter mechanics. Of course, when the final battle took place during the second mass test, it turned out that it was more about the new Doomsdays, but overall these tests were quite enjoyable, and everything seems to be working pretty much as intended. Sure, there are some small bugs, but I didn't notice anything game breaking. I didn't have any crashes, any complete client failures or anything like that. So far from my perspective, what I learned from these two mass tests is that the build for Citadel is coming along quite nicely, with just a little bit over 2 weeks to go until we can expect the Citadel expansion to drop on TQ. I think that this is pretty good news in general. Now, just before the expansion, we'll also have FanFest, which should be full of information that I am definitely looking forward to as well. And on TQ, basically my focus has been on more Citadel preparation. So I'm doing quite a bit of mining actually. I'm doing a bit of mining while I read Reddit, while I read up about the war, all of the propaganda. It's quite entertaining. I also try to read up on the forums, the test forums, the future features and ideas discussion. There is also a pretty important forum to keep an eye on, and of course any news posts that CCP puts up can be quite interesting at this point, because well, the hype towards the Citadel expansion and FanFest is going to really start building, I think, in the upcoming weeks. And so yeah, mining while gathering information on a second screen is something that I'm doing quite a bit of. On top of that, of course, I'm also still preparing with blueprints and things like that for the expansion, and I may have found an interesting side way of making some extra ISK there. I'm exploring that. First attempt has been decently successful, so now I'm going to try and increase that revenue stream and see if it actually works out. But that's for later. I'm not really willing to divulge that just yet. It looks pretty promising, both in the run-up to the expansion and after the expansion. So we'll see if I can get that to work, but I have to remain a little bit mysterious on that. And when it comes to EVE Online news, I think the one thing that I'll need to cover in a separate video are the daily opportunities that CCP wants to introduce to the game, a sort of a daily quest, where for now it seems like they're actually planning to reward people with skill points. My very first instinct is that this isn't EVE Online, this isn't really a part of what EVE Online is known for, but I need to do a bit more thinking, a bit more research, I think, before I actually give you guys a full opinion on that. And so that's probably going to come next week in a separate video. It is interesting, but I do have a feeling that this could be a double-edged sword when it comes to implementing something like daily quests in EVE Online. So I need to do a full analysis on that. I'll try to find the time to do that as well. The next game that I played is the Elder Scrolls Online, but I played quite a bit less than in the previous weeks. I definitely didn't play this every day anymore, and my interest in just keeping it up every day is waning at this point. So it could give you a bit of an idea. I've been playing this pretty intensively for around 3 weeks. I definitely have more than 50-60 hours in the game just from the first run-up. I'm level 22, I think, and I've run into like level 25-26 quests. Is pretty much where I'm at in the game. This definitely doesn't mean that it's the end for the Elder Scrolls Online or anything like that. It's pretty much a bit of I have so many videos ready now that I'm jumping ahead too far, and I feel my time would be better spent maybe covering a different game, playing a different game, working on something else. at this point. The game in general for me is very fun. I'm having really a blast playing through the story, covering all of that, making videos with the Elder Scrolls Online, and worth the price. I mean, 50-60 hours over 3 weeks for just 27.5 euros makes it a no-brainer in my book. But yeah, at some point, of course, I am someone who can't keep playing a single game all the time, so I am probably looking to switch to something else for the next week or so, just something else to do. But I will definitely come back to the Elder Scrolls Online when I'm in again a phase where I'm looking for something else to do, switching from any other possible game, and just continuing my story, my adventures with my Argonian sorcerer. I am looking forward to doing that, just not right now. So that's basically the state of the Elder Scrolls Online. It kept me quite busy, quite interested, and hooked to the game for 3 weeks straight. Which I think is definitely not bad if you don't have to pay a subscription. And now I'm actually looking to maybe pull back a little bit, do something else in the meantime, and in a few months probably pick back up the thread where I left it and see if I can't continue in my Elder Scrolls adventures. So that's pretty much all I played in the last week. That is maybe because next to all of the CC testing that happened, and that did take pretty much 2 evenings out of my time, I am coming into a very busy month at my real life work. So maybe I'll put that on the EVE Online screen here. So I have like extra training that I'm gonna get from my job in the upcoming months, like once a week. That's going to be extra hours that I'll be doing. It's also an extremely busy period at the moment at my job, so I may actually have to do extra hours as well just to help out other departments at my job. And so it's maybe a little bit of a warning. I'm going to do my absolute best, and I actually think that I'll manage without too much trouble to keep up a video every day. But if I fail in the upcoming weeks, then you know what's actually going on. It is because I am coming into a very busy month. At least I'm looking at 1 month, maybe 2 months, where it's going to be very, very busy, where I'll have to do extra hours. I'll come in a bit late, have less energy, and so it may be that that'll have a bit of an impact on my gaming and on the videos. I'll try to minimize it because I absolutely, of course, love the gaming and I want to be there for the Citadel expansion, but obviously real life does take precedence over gaming and over the channel. So I'll obviously make sure that I do everything all right at my job first, and then try to do my best to keep everything up when it comes to the gaming. Now, when it comes to interesting news, first one is that Diablo 3 Season 5 is ending and Season 6 should be starting on April 29th. I think that's pretty interesting because it is definitely something that you can jump into, play for maybe a week pretty intensively or 2 weeks pretty casually, and then you'll be able to run through basically the base part of a new season, go through all of the quests that you have there, and get the personally I think most interesting rewards. At least that's what it was for me in Season 5. I didn't feel the need to do the hardcore grind that came after that, which would take quite a bit more time, but it can definitely keep you playing on a completely new character, so explore a new class if you want to during a season for a week to 2 weeks, and just have fun enjoying Diablo 3 with it's well very polished mechanics, honestly. So I'm looking at starting a new character in Season 6 as well. Probably I think a demon hunter, although I'm not entirely sure. A mage looks pretty attractive as well, but we'll see how that works out. But yeah, when it comes to the news here, Diablo 3 Season 5 is ending and Season 6 should start April 29th. So if you have Diablo 3 and you're interested in maybe jumping in for a small session, then that could be the perfect opportunity to do so. Another game that I've been looking forward to is Overwatch. I've watched streams and videos on the game. It looks a lot of fun, and personally I've never played a Team Fortress 2 like game, and so I pulled the trigger last weekend. I pre-ordered Overwatch, and I'm looking forward to playing the open beta and then just playing a bit of Overwatch in more a shooter with possibly quite action-packed gameplay, I think. And of course it's a Blizzard game, so we have every right to cover this in videos in a channel. I think It's going to be pretty fun to play. Also, something that you can enjoy in smaller playing sessions. A game shouldn't last that long, and so really absolutely perfect to just enjoy casually. Or hardcore if you want to, of course, but for me, casually just explore this as a game that I'll play for maybe a month or something like that, and after that just jump in and out of it as we go along. But what I really like about Overwatch here so far is that Blizzard has announced that they're planning to be absolutely fair in their business model. So every new character that they're going to develop will actually come out as free DLC. So you'll continuously be able to play every character on the roster in Overwatch, and so far, although I'm not 100% sure, I think that they're not planning to split the player base depending on the type of DLC that you have bought or haven't bought or anything like that, which is of course why I pulled trigger on Overwatch and decided to go with that rather than Doom, because Bethesda and I think it's id Software that are actually developing the game have announced that they are going to have map pack DLCs, which honestly to me is a cardinal sin when it comes to online shooter games, when it comes to online games like this. You can't split your player base like that by having DLC that is going to basically keep a part of the player base from playing certain maps, playing certain games, possibly certain game types. So yeah, the business model in Doom is basically what put it from, well, I'm looking forward to it. I may buy it at launch too. No, I'm not going to buy it at launch. I definitely don't agree with the business model, and now it's come to the point where basically I still keep an eye on it, of course. I'll take a look at the reviews and all of that, but the current plan for me when it comes to purchasing Doom is wait for a discount until basically just a single player game is going to be worth the price you're paying for. Possibly wait for like a Game of the Year edition with everything in it, if that is absolutely worth it. Maybe if that comes on a discount, probably, something like that. But yes, the business model, the idea that they are going to try and sell separate map packs for money that is going to split up the player base, I think is a terrible idea. I'm completely against that. They should, I think, focus on different ways to monetize a game like that. I think it's just something that I can't support myself, and so now I'm definitely basically looking at this at what price point is it going to be worth it just to play through the single player campaign of Doom, and maybe play a few matches here and there, but I don't see myself playing Doom actively as a multiplayer game when I'm going to have Overwatch to enjoy. So yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts on the announcements when it comes to Doom 3. I think it's a terrible idea, and it basically put Doom a little bit back when it comes to purchasing it. It's definitely not something I can purchase on day one anymore because of that. Anyways, that's it for this Sunday recap, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.